Going? Come on. There we go. All right, guys. Welcome to the Drag and Drive News presented by Summit Racing for May 6th, 2023. Guys, we've got a ton of fun stuff up today. Lots of news that we're going to blow through here pretty quick because the wife is already on me about getting some stuff done because of all the travel we have planned coming up. All right. So let's start the show. We're going to talk about the updates from the Drag and Drive racer list that are presented by Summit Racing. I want to congratulate Brian Acton and Jay Blanchard on, let me get this overlay off the screen. I want to congratulate them. You can find these lists at dragandrive.com. Pull up the 2023 stats right here. You can see this is the regional quarter mile 2023 list. So these are events that are what we would kind of consider weekend events, things like that. So let's get this in a different format here. You see, I want to congratulate the top three, Brian Acton and co-pilot Jay Blanchard. This is the first year that we are collecting co-pilot names. So be easy on me. It may take a little bit to populate all of these as we go, but I will put the racer list out as immediately as I can and then add co-pilots as we go. Brian and Jay came to the circuit in the 70 Nova. 8.539 is the current number one average for a regional drag and drive event. And mainly because at the circuit, we only ran quarter mile in the street race power adder class. Congratulations, number two, Mike and Marlana Kimmis in the 89 Mustang with an 8.659. And then Austin Martin and Trinity Sanders in the 82 Regal. That I think that was that car's first drag and drive event to be out, but not Austin's for sure, with an 8.951 holding up the third place. So I want to congratulate them. You can see we have several people on this list. We are running a top 50. There are actually more on this because we run a top 50 because a weekend is about half of what a national level drag and drive event will be, and we run the fastest 100 over there. So this list is going to be pretty important to watch over the year. I think we're going to see a lot of names populate this list as well as the national level list as well. So you will be able to be on this list and the top 100 or the any of the other lists that we have for the 2023 year, because you can see here, these are all the 2023 lists we already currently have. So anyways, I want to say congratulations to them and look forward to more names populating that list from other events. Our next event that will count for the regional list is the Street Weekend UK. That's right, not an American event. So we're going to have a lot of names that we've never even seen that will be on that list because it is a quarter mile event. So pretty exciting there as well. So I'm excited about that. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch. But dude, I ran right into that. I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Mike Narks of dragandrive.com and Drag and Drive Addiction. And my co-host this episode is Eric. Why don't you introduce yourself?
I am Eric White. I am the producer of Drag and Drive Addiction and the owner, founder of 815 LS6 Swaps and Motorsports Paparazzi.
Yep, and we are struggling a little bit with Eric's audio this morning. We are going to get him a microphone coming this week. I said that last week, but I'm ordering it today, I promise. So I think it's just something with the connection between your headphones and the computer. But anyways, we're going to have that done. And we're excited. When Eric says he's a producer, he really takes care of a lot of stuff. Producer is probably not even the right term for what you are. So I want to say thanks to that. And he's been working diligently on the podcast. Like, how many hours a week you think you put in on the podcast, Eric?
Up until this point, it was probably 5 hours a week trying to get everything caught up. Right now that I'm actually caught up, releasing them, maybe an hour a week isn't too bad.
That's awesome. Perfect. Well, so what that means is the episodes that we do for the Drag and Drive show with our guests and all of the in-depth detail we do on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, Eric will take that and then chop it down, cut out anything that doesn't make sense for an audio podcast. And then we post it up at all of your favorite podcast sites. So you can find it. Just type in drag-in-drive addiction podcast, or tell Alexa, hey, Alexa, play Drag and Drive Addiction podcast. And she'll start with the most recent episode that Eric has loaded. And so for the next 2 weeks, that will be either the episode of the week or it will be a previous episode. So once he gets that done, we should have around 20 episodes on there. And let us know if you would like us to put the news on the podcast as well. That would allow you to have 2 episodes a week that would come up for there. So anyways, I want to say thanks to Eric for working his butt off for that. I also fixed the glitch on Apple Podcasts yesterday because that's what I listen to my podcasts on. And so I had not seen it yet. Went in and took care of it. And so now you can find it right on your iPhone. Just type in drag-in-drive addiction in the search bar and it'll pull it right up and you can just start listening. And also the
just released episode number 5 this morning with Cameron Thorpe.
Nice. Awesome. Well, perfect. Well, as we move into the drag and drive season and people are driving long distances to get to where they're going to start these drag and drive events, obviously, if we can be what's in their ear, that would be great. So make sure you follow that, not just search for it each time. That will help us on that side of sponsorship and all of the podcast apps. So also the Automotive ADHD podcast should drop this week. I haven't heard back from Matt West yet, but it should drop this week. And as soon as it does, I will release the link on our side, on all of our sites, and get that going. And then I'm also lined up to do 2 other podcasts this week to talk about the Drag and Drive World Champion and all of the updates that have happened since the last time I was on their show and what's coming up. I'm telling you, this season is going to be absolutely intense. Next bit of news is that Drag Illustrated broke the news that Howard's Cams, one of our race car friends, are going NHRA Top Fuel racing, which is really exciting. The Drag Illustrated article says NHRA Funny Car team owner and driver Chris King is eager to reintroduce himself to the ever-growing NHRA Camping World Drag Racing Series fandom with his 2023 debut at the Gerber Collision and Glass Route 66 Nationals, May 19th through 21st. The Chicago firefighter, so this will be his home track, which is pretty cool, is pursuing his dream at over 300 miles an hour in less than 4 seconds, racing the Howard's Cams Dodge Charger Funny Car at Route 66 Raceway in Joliet. I'm really excited about this. Eric is actually going to go over that weekend, maybe on Saturday or Sunday, and get some content. One of the Howard's Cams Top Fuel car, which isn't a drag and drive car, but they are a sponsor of ours and we love them for that. So we're going to do the Howard's Cam comedy section later. And there is a drag and drive exhibition. I don't know. Exhibition of drag and drive cars is probably a better way to put it, with Clark Rosenstengel, Bryant Goldstone, Clint Sadowski, one of our favorite people in drag and drive, Alex Taylor, Tom Bailey, Steve Morris in the Boostmaster. So there's like 8 cars that are going to go over and make exhibition runs and also run a shootout style thing. Is that right, Eric?
Yeah, I think they're going to crown a winner on Sunday.
Awesome. So I was trying to work out the logistics of getting up there, but it's too far to drive and it's too expensive to fly to not be a true drag and drive. I think NHRA is finally seeing the light on some of the drag and drive stuff. So it'll be pretty interesting to see what happens from this and see if they have a good presentation. I know that they struggled a little bit to get the 8 car count field for an exhibition run because a lot of these folks are getting ready for the drag and drive season and didn't want to put didn't want to put the extra strain on their cars. So good luck to everybody that's racing. We'll obviously be commenting on it. We'll be talking about it because those are drag and drive racers that will be racing there. So pretty exciting to see that NHRA is maybe seeing the light a little bit. Maybe we can end up with some of that. We just hope that it's not always exhibition stuff. So let's talk about day counts for events because we're fixing to get very, very busy. Beginning Wednesday night, we'll go past Midwest Drags because we will be looking that weekend. There are like 4 events that weekend. So we've been kind of limiting on it because we didn't want to have 15 event updates. So there are 3 days until Carolina Drag Cruise. 4 days. It begins on May 10th in South Carolina. I think Michael Loans will still take a few people if you show up day of or just message him. Carolina Drag Cruise, it is an 8th mile event, kind of in that South and North Carolina area. Looks like a ton of fun, and a lot of big names are there. We have 3 weeks until King of the Open Road, which me and Alexandria Garcia will be at. We will also have, this just happened Thursday, we will have the merch trailer for Drag and Drive Addiction at King of the Open Road. Thank you to Jared and Javier for letting us bring that over. We're so excited about that. And then we'll be following along as Alexandria, or Alex is what we're going to call her from now on, races her car in the 9.0 street class. So that's going to be a fun one to watch because you'll drive on Saturday, 200 plus miles. They're actually going to a bank from the 1920s that literally closed and locked the door, I think in like 1926 or 1929, something like that. And then never went in. So we're going to get back in that bank. It's going to be kind of cool and see all that and parts of Oklahoma that I've never even been to. Then we have Six Summer for June 4th through 9th at Cordova. BC Drag It Challenge, June 15th through 19th. And then we will have Street Weekend UK from this. No, sorry, that is in July. Man, it is so hard to keep up with all this. Rocky Mountain Race Week 1.0 is June 24th through 30th in Great Bend. It starts in Kearney, Nebraska. I need to change my notes because I just copied those over. Usually I remember that because Great Bend is not opening this year. And then the Summit Racing Midwest Drags, which I'll be at July 10th through 14th, Virginia Motorsports Park. And guys, there are still a few spots available for that as well. Rocky Mountain Race Week, Summit Racing Midwest Drags, and Six Summer are all points eligible events for the Drag and Drive World Champion. So keep that in mind as you start looking at events to attend. Now, my plan for this week is to take and put out the records for Rocky Mountain Race Week for each class so everybody will know what they need to do to gain those extra points. I am working through a possible option of the additional point for resetting the mile per hour at Rocky Mountain Race Week because I do not have the historic data for mile per hour from Rocky Mountain because as people figured all of this stuff out, our main concern was always the ET average for racers. So I'm going to have to figure out how we're going to work the mile per hour for both Rocky Mountain Race Week and Race Week. So I don't know what we're going to do there because I would hate for racers to miss that additional point simply because we don't have the data, because I don't think that's quite fair because the data was not made public, which, hey, we always worried about ETs. That's the way it works. All right. Talk about this next thing, Eric?
Yeah, sure.
This is kind of exciting because this was actually inspired from you attending your first full Drag and Drive event.
Yeah, absolutely. So don't forget our parking lot.
Hey, no, you can't. Your mic. How are you away? Are you far away from your mic? Hang on, maybe reset your headset. I'll run into this. It's Parking Lot Beers and Trailer Burnout T-shirt, guys. The minimum order has been sold, so we're excited about that. So we are full steam ahead. This is a limited run shirt. This shirt will not be one that we have in stock. And I was going to let Eric tell. So once he gets reset here, we let him tell the story. But he was inspired by his first Drag and Drive the circuit and created this shirt. I mean, I'm telling you, within 2 days of being home, it was his first time to truly see trailer burnouts and hang out in the parking lot for hours at the hotel and get some parking lot beers. So let's let him get reset there. How about that?
Any better?
Oh, dude, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know what's up with this headset. It worked good for a while.
Yeah, and usually it's great. Tell them. Did you walk up on that group of people right there? I think you did, right?
I believe so. I know I took some pictures from up in the balcony too, kind of panning through. But yeah, we walked up and we talked to everybody here. We kind of wandered around and tried to talk to every kind of group of people. So
yeah. Yeah, there were 3 or 4 groups of folks, and this I think was Friday night that we were all hanging out here getting ready. You know, we raced a little bit Friday, or raced a lot Friday, and then went to the hotel, and then drove all day Saturday. So this was a good time to hang out with all these folks. It
Yeah,
was
I'm
pretty neat, and
really excited to see these shirts and see people wearing them. I think it's going to be it's pretty cool. It's, right now we only have the one shirt, so it'll be kind of cool to have
yeah,
maybe a couple different designs come out in the future.
yeah, we're definitely working on new stuff, and as the year comes through, we're going to be adding new limited run shirts, kind of like this. We're trying out a bunch of different things as we grow as a brand, which is exciting. So it's really a good time to be involved in the Drag and Drive Addiction group. I'm telling you. All right, y'all ready? Eric, if you'll bring up the Carl Bright pictures. Guys, this is Built for Drag and Drive, presented by Sweet Patina. Our friends over at Sweet Patina are awesome to us. They are awesome to the Drag and Drive community. They actually sent out packets of hand cleaning wipes, their TKO hand cleaning wipes, to every registered racer of the circuit. So that was a very sweet bonus from them. Really appreciate them doing that. I know everybody enjoyed those. So if you haven't picked up your TKO hand cleaning wipes, you can grab them at sweetpatina.com and use the code DND57, or you can add those to your recent or your Summit Racing order whenever you put it in, and get free shipping at anything over $99. So the TKO hand cleaning wipes, they also have a ton of other products like, t-shirts and garage art tins, and obviously the thing that made them their entire brand is the Sweet Patina sauce, which is the way to protect your patinaed vehicle. They also have stuff for painted vehicles as well, which isn't quite as cool on our side. But just want to say thanks to Sweet Patina. Excited to see them hopefully at an event. We are working on trying to get them to King of the Open Road in Ennis in November. See if we can get a spot set up and do some VIP stuff with them, and have our booth there and everything like that. So Carl Bright is our Built for Drag and Drive feature this week with his 72 El Camino. Guys, Carl is the burnout king. If there's ever someone that's made clouds, it's Carl. It's pretty amazing. His car is a 72 El Camino with a matching paint and everything El Camino trailer, which is a really cool setup as you start. And he drives this thing everywhere. So there's been people all over the country that have seen this car and trailer drive past them. He runs a 33-inch tall all-terrain tire when he's not on his, I think he runs a 31-inch tall slick. So pretty cool car. It has a Blueprint Engines 632. It is naturally aspirated most of the time. And then he runs a Power Glide trans with a Gear Vendors overdrive. And I don't remember what gear is in the back. So Carl's car is really, really probably one of the coolest cars that I've been around. It has air conditioning in it, right? So when I say Built for Drag and Drive, I mean it. And he doesn't trailer this thing to events. He literally will drive it. So we saw him on Summit Racing Midwest Drags 2021. Him and Rick Hardy Summit Racing 2022. Him and Rick Hardy drove it from Tulsa, Oklahoma, around Tulsa, Oklahoma, all the way to where did we start there? Indy, I think. Started there, drove the whole thing, then they drove it home. And you can do that if it's summertime and you have AC.
Right.
Big black car. Let's talk about his overall drag and drive record. The first event I can find is Race Week 2020. He finished that event with an 11,131 average. Then he ran Summit Racing Midwest Drags 2021 with an 11,133 average. So the car is consistent. Sick Week, he went way faster at a 10,671 average. King of the Open Road 2022 spring, he sadly DNF'd. And then Summit Racing Midwest Drags 2022 that we just talked about, he ended with a 10,945 average. And then King of the Open Road 2022 in the fall, he ends with a 9.6. So I don't know if maybe he put a ton of nitrous on there. I don't know. I'll have to ask him again. And then obviously the last event that he was in was the Circuit 2023 with a 10.860 average, finishing the weekend 300 miles in a fun car. So I know we're going to see Carl at other events this year, and we'll do a full walk around and conversation when we get there with him. I think he is probably most likely coming to the upcoming King of the Open Road event at the end of the month. So exciting to see him. And he's always in a good mood, always has a big smile on his face. All right. Thank you to Sweet Patina for sponsoring that segment. Love those guys. We have a lot planned for Built for Drag and Drive. I just need a little more time and to not be so busy with all the other stuff, because it is absolutely intense right now trying to get that. I thought bringing more team members on would help, but all it's done is push me harder to do more work. So, all right, dude, you want to talk about the Howard's Cams comedy? But this week's maybe not necessarily all comedy. We've got a couple good memes from Luke B over there at Howard's Cams. If you need any kind of cam or valve train insight, you can talk with Luke B at howardscams.com. I thought this was pretty freaking hilarious. The Windsor being drawn over by the GM engineer there, and it ends up with the LS engine.
Right.
What we got next? Oh yeah, when everyone is breaking their cars, but not you because yours isn't running. Hey, I think that's yeah. I was gonna say me too. I feel bad. I pulled the cart out here a month and a half ago and haven't touched it. I pushed it forward to put all the stuff from the circuit behind it. So I mean, we unloaded that day.
We stay pretty busy in here, so we gotta
Yeah.
have a little bit of time to be able to get out there and work on those still.
Yeah, the hardest part about having the podcast room in the shop is that it's not hard for me to get distracted to come in here and get I'll take just a minute. I'll come in here and I'll type on it, and then it's an hour and a half later, and I've spent my shop time in the podcast room.
Right.
And then showing up to race knowing there's a 99% chance the car will break during the burnout. How many of you drag and drive racers is this? This is a lot of you, I'm telling you. A lot of folks trying to get that last little bit in before they show up to the race. This one here is pretty funny. Kramer, what's going on in here? Race car stuff, Jerry. Race car stuff. I think he was running a tanning bed place in his apartment on that one. I don't know. I can't remember. I didn't watch a ton of Seinfeld. All right, What's next? Do we have the Alex Taylor stuff? Y'all, did you see this week? This is absolutely crazy. And that's why I said earlier, this is not really comedy, because I can't imagine the intensity that she went through. One, on her fastest past 212 miles an hour. Congratulations to Alex. That car only gets faster, which means it is moving into, she finished sick week with the 6-second average, but just barely running some 7.0s on Friday. So obviously 212 miles an hour is going to allow her to have a little more room in the 6-second range. The front windshield caved in and exploded. So at 200 miles an hour, now you have the windshield in on you. Okay. So not only did it bring the windshield in and splinter it everywhere, it also blew the outside door skins off. It blew the back glass out. It blew a ton of buttons and things off of her control panel. You can see here are all the broken pieces they were gathering from the track. They were testing in Tulsa then. So pretty intense, blew the windows out. So you go from 200 miles an hour driving, then everything is 200 miles an hour worth of wind. You can see the door skin has been removed and flew off. They did post a video, I think, on Dennis's page or maybe on Alex's page, that shows all of the glass and everything flying as it went through. So I'm sure there's a big video coming of that for her YouTube channel as well, Alex Taylor, or Riding with Alex Taylor.
And I think it was this morning that they were already fiberglassing up the new doors.
Yep. So pretty awesome to see them already working, and they've got to do work like that. They're one of the racers for the May 19th event, the exhibition for the drag and drive cars.
Now, do you know, was this actual glass or was it Lexan?
I don't think it was Lexan. I can't remember what they said it was, but it wasn't like, glass.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and so they've already got a glass, I think, already back in the car, or they're already working on getting one. They'll have it in this week from a new glass manufacturer, or the guy that made that glass is putting. I can't remember. There was a bunch of posts flying around about this, so
And I think
pretty
Dennis,
intense. I really can't imagine, and for her to keep her stuff together, I don't know. With that, I would think I'd probably give me a little bit of PTSD. So
right?
good
I
luck.
think
Good luck to her as she goes to race next 2 weeks from now.
I think Dennis had made a post about the window frame too, that he had already pulled that off of one of his cars and it was ruined. So now they're looking for like 2 sets of them.
Wow, man, that's crazy, 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 super intense. Well, Eric, thank you for running the pictures this week. That is our Howard's Cams. I'm not going to say comedy section segment this week because that's not really funny at all. I can't imagine the craziness that ensues from that. So it's been a busy week in Drag and Drive. I haven't spent as much time on social media, so we will remedy that this next coming week and have some good memes for you, also some good stories. That's what we're looking for the Howard's Cam segment. And then obviously tons of news coming from all racers that are building stuff, getting ready for the season. We really kick off the season in June. Let's see what June 4th really kicks it off, and then there's no pause for several weeks after that. So we're going to be busy until at least the end of July after that. So we're going to be busy on this side. I hope you are busy on your side working on your car this weekend and getting stuff ready. I'll be out here digging up grass trying to put in an above ground pool. I spend so much time on Drag and Drive. You get to do that stuff for your family. So expect to see some reinforcement behind that new screen for sure. Yeah, that's one thing everybody was talking about was because the windshield is so flat at that point in the middle there that an additional bar. And I think Dennis did say that he would put a bar there. So the struggle with that, I think, would be, does that create a rattle? Because now it's up against the window. So, there we go. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. No idea what happened there. All right, guys, that is your Drag and Drive news. We will be back Wednesday night. What's that? May 10th, 11th? I think it's the 11th. No, it is the 10th, May 10th, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here, wherever you're watching this, you can see that. But if you're not following us, definitely follow Drag-in-Drive on all of your favorite social media channels. All right, guys, see you next time.
See ya.